course, I could go on for a couple hours, but I know we're going to want to get some more questions. Let me start from the general claim, which is that from inception, you need an obligation, and it needs to be denominated in some unit of measurement. And so in shorthand, what we say is taxes drive money, okay? And of course, that can be a little more broadly defined to say that you need fees, fines, tribute, tithes, taxes, some kind of an obligation that is denominated in a unit of account. Second thing is, just as a general observation, what we see is almost without exception, and as far back as we have any records, that unit of account has been the unit of account adopted by the authorities. So we say the state unit of account, okay? However, we are not trying to claim that taxes drive money, that is necessary. It is merely sufficient. Taxes will drive a money. That's a sufficient condition. It's perfectly conceivable, and people have many stories about this, of private entities creating a unit of account, denominating liabilities in that unit of account, and then exchanging those liabilities and using those in payment. It works pretty well in theory. It's just that in practice, we don't find these. Okay, there are a couple of exceptions to the rule where we do find private entities. So there's the Banca di Giro. Okay, so in Europe, at a particular point in time, we can find a unit of account that seems to have been created by the banks with no state authority, and obligations written in this unit of account, and liabilities that circulated, as you said. That is the exception to the rule. It is a very, very small exception at a particular point in time, whereas the view that I'm presenting fits almost every case that we ever come across. And so I prefer to work on that one rather than the one unusual specific case in the 15th century. Now, money goes back, as I indicated with those pictures, many thousands of years, okay? At least back to the clay tablets, and perhaps back to those scratches on a rock. We don't know because we can't read those. But all of the cases we know of, the unit of account was a social unit of account imposed by the authorities. Now skip forward to 15th century or today. Anyone can write an IOU in the state's unit of account. You and I can write IOUs in Canadian dollars. And we don't need the state to accept those for you and I to accept them. And we could have a fairly big payment community in which we all agree to accept each other's IOUs without the state ever giving those any kind of a legal sanction. Even bank deposits in the United States are not accepted by the Treasury. They are not. Okay, the bank just promises to make the payment for you. When you write a check to the IRS, or whatever you call it here, the IRS does not accept that check. Okay, it's that your bank promises to make the payment to the Treasury, and your bank makes the payment using currency. It uses central bank reserves. So even today, bank deposits are not accepted by the government in payment of taxes. However, the bank is acting as an intermediary and promises to make the conversion on demand, so they make the payment for you. So the money things are denominated in the state unit of account, but anybody can issue the money things. They might make them convertible on demand into the state's currency. They might not. Okay, so it's not a necessary thing. You don't need taxes behind any particular money things to make them circulate. But the general observation is that the money things are almost always written in the state's unit of account.